Hello, welcome to Local Edition. I'm Leslie Leyton. San Bernardino changed forever, but moving forward after the terrorist attacks at the health department there. With us now is San Bernardino Supervisor Curt Hagman to talk about that in terms of what's going on now there. Welcome.
Thank you, Leslie. It's great to be back.
You know, unfortunately, a lot of lessons learned, I'm sure, after this horrible event.
There's actual and perceived as well. I've heard from a lot of my residents, how come you don't have security at your buildings? Well, the San Bernardino has over 1,400 sites that we actually either occupy or own for county services, but this wasn't at one of our sites. This was at a banquet room that they hired for their party. And so, you know, we're looking at security for all our facilities, not only for our employees. We have 22,000 plus employees in San Bernardino County, but also for the residents who come in and partake it. But we don't know how to prevent something like that. You know, our employees all go through background checks. We go, you know, do all the right things. It's just what turns a person to turn to evil and do a terrorist act. How do you prevent that?
So what areas are you considering? What are you looking at as we move away and move forward from this attack?
We're looking at a lot of different things. The first thing we want to do is make sure our employees, both the ones that were there, victims, you know, the families and the core departments, and the rest of our employees have all the resources they need to hopefully heal the best they can after the incident. So we were really focused on that. Going forward, we'll look at training, we'll look at site security, we'll look at other things more to, you know, if you do see something, how do you react? And most of the incidents we have in the county, we're the largest geographical county in the United States, the 12th largest out of 12,000 as far as population. We do have people come and request services that sometimes act unruly, and that's generally what we have security for. But really more intermixed. How do you handle the different types of maybe political pressures or incidents that would normally we just maybe not look at? You know, we may disagree on a particular sports team. Is that something to report, or is it religion only, or is it, you know, different type of foreign events? So we're going to be looking at that. We'll be seeking, you know, outside advice as well to see what other policy changes, if any, we need to make in San Bernardino County.
We often look at the response of the police and the firefighters, but our psyche has changed. Just regular people, we are different now, and as you're advising, you know, if you see something, say something. What changes are you seeing in that sort of collective response now that we're expecting?
It's a fine line. It's a very fine line. We heard through the news reports afterward, and first of all, our public safety, not just police and fire, but also our medical teams, and we had probation out there. We even had our public transportation come out and bring out folks with their buses. They all work fantastic. We were like the model for any kind of disaster response. But really, how do you take the political sensitivities but actually practically report things? And then how is us as government sort through that and actually, you know, what do you do if someone just basically disagrees with the political actions of the United States? Is that an arrestable crime? Is that something you got to put a 24-hour surveillance on? These are things I think as government as a whole we need to look at, because there is finite resources, and how do you apply them correctly?
You mentioned the response from the police and the firefighters. It was universally praised. What was done right? Why did it work, do you think, this time?
Well, ever since 9/11 happened way back when, departments in whole all around the United States have been working together on disasters. We do a lot on natural disasters. We have El Nino coming up. You know, how do we respond together? The mutual aid agreements that's all in place. All these things are pre-staged for natural or man-made disasters, so things can happen quickly. And I think the training over and over and over worked very well.
So the same training for all disasters comes in handy.
Absolutely.
San Bernardino Supervisor Curt Hagman, thank you.
Thank you for having
being
me
here. Glad you're here too. I'm Leslie Leyton.